Man, when it rains, it pours, huh? Yesterday, not a lot of fun for a number of reasons. I got caught with the Tyler Hero under 4.5 assists. Hopefully, by the time this video came out and you guys watched it, you had seen that Jimmy Butler went from not on the injury report to probable to questionable to out, and you avoided that Tyler Hero under. That sucked. DeJounte Murray hadn't hit 2 threes in 10 straight games and goes on to rip off like 4 or something yesterday. Couldn't miss. And then I'm like, all right, we're at least going 1 and 2 here. Jaren Jackson's got 16 points, rebounds, and assists in the first quarter. We need him to get over 29.5. He's got 22 at halftime. Things look good. Boom, foul trouble, fouls out after 59 minutes or 25 minutes. So I don't know. It's a tough one, but this is late season basketball. Late season basketball is, in no uncertain terms, a bitch. Lots of blowouts, lots of crazy stuff happening throughout the day. That's why I can only do so much. Look, full responsibility. We lost yesterday. It was a bad day. I'm not trying to absolve myself of any sins here. What I will say though is jump into our chalkboard, because as news breaks throughout the day, we're hammering props that we're getting, huge swings in the markets, massive discrepancies. We're finding them, hitting them immediately before they change. I was dropping stuff in there at 7 o'clock this morning today that's no longer available. The app is free. It's in the description and it's in the comments if you guys aren't in there yet. We're almost at 1,000 members. Thanks to all you guys, because we just started this up like 2 weeks ago. So appreciate you guys. But yeah, everything's free. All the picks, all the discussion. We're all monitoring the market, monitoring the league throughout the day. So if you're betting NBA right now, you got to be in one of these groups. You can't just be using one video a day to get you there, because way too much is changing. Like, we're still waiting on Embiid today. That could be a huge spot. We're waiting on Harden and 1,000 other spots on a 10-game slate. Join us. Say hello in the chat. We'll be welcome with open arms. Great community, and we're all just looking to make some money together. So let's get into this. I'm Dave Loughy from OddsShopper. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and follow me at Loughy_D on Twitter. We'll kick it off today with 3. And like I said, some of these, just pay attention to news. Play them lighter if you want. However you want to play it, but just know that in late season, late March, early April basketball, it gets wild. First one, Jalen Green over 21.5 points today at -110 on BetMGM. And shop books. Shop around on these books, because you're going to get big swings in lines and odds, sorry. But yeah, Jalen Green, the rest of the Rockets starting lineup, they're playing huge minutes every night to close out the season. It's really fascinating to see what Steven Silas is doing with them. The only reason Green isn't logging 40 minutes every night is because they've been getting blown out. Now, definitely a possibility tonight, right? But at the same time, like, they're 10-point dogs on the road. I get all that. But the Nets, since the start of March, have a plus-minus of plus 0.4 and a net rating of plus 0.5. Like, they're not exactly a team that's going to go in there and just shit on opponents. Sure, it can happen against Houston, but this is not exactly the most stellar Nets team. He had Mikal Bridges go for 44 the other day, and they still lost by however much against Orlando. I mean, it's not impressive stuff. And Green has a team-leading 28% usage rate since the start of March. He's gone over 21.5 points in 8 of 15, which you're like, all right, fine, that's not great. But the Rockets, look at some of the matchups they faced recently, okay? Like, they've had a string of pretty brutal matchups. And you also have Green sitting at 22.5 on a lot of books right now, too. You can still get this at 21.5 on BetMGM and a bunch of other spots. Shop around. I think 21.5 here, especially if this game case stays close. Green's getting like 40 minutes if it stays close, is a spot that I want to hit. Next up, Drew Eubanks over 6.5 rebounds. I told you, blowouts are not going away, right? Like, and a lot of these games that have really close spreads between good teams, you're going to be hard pressed to find good lines on a lot of them, because the teams are healthy. We know, like, everything's status quo, right? There's an equilibrium there. You don't it's going to be hard pressed to find good lines on certain props when it's the same thing every day with those teams, give or take, a matchup or the pace or whatever. But with Eubanks, we have been projected for 7.8 rebounds today in the NBA Bet Pro tool. That's entirely free. Links in the description and in chat, or in the comments too. Entirely free for the first week. If you are someone that needs time or doesn't have the time but could use it, no better way than to just find the best bets at the top of the list every single day. Updates every 2 minutes. We have Eubanks projected at 7.8 rebounds on the Bet Pro tool. And the biggest concern here, again, yeah, it's a blowout, right? But we're talking late March basketball where nothing makes any sense. Hell, if you went into yesterday and you were hitting the overs on Charlotte players, you're hitting like every single over in that game. Of course, the Dennis Smith Jr. news was weird. You're hitting like every over in that game, and it was projected to be a blowout. OKC was 11-point favorites even without SGA. They lose outright at home. Like, up is down, down is up. You know what I mean? And one of these games with Portland, yeah, it could blow out, or it blows out late and these guys still get their minutes. Not to mention, though, even though the Blazers are huge home dogs against the Kings, no Lillard, Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic, Trenton Watford, even Cam Reddish are doubtful. There's a risk of Eubanks losing minutes, right, in the latter half of this game. But the Kings play at a top 10 pace in basketball, okay? This game has a 235.5 total, so you know there's going to be a ton of shots up, a ton of opportunities for rebounds for Eubanks while he is on the floor. He's a quality rebounder on the season already, despite not being a starter outside of the games that Nurkic has missed. And in the games that Nurkic has missed, Eubanks has gone over 6.5 rebounds in 14 of 23 of them. And I'm not even including the spots where Trenton Watford was out too. So he's gone over in 61% of the games that Nurkic has been out. And now you have Grant out and Trenton Watford doubtful. So it's just Eubanks and Jabari Walker that are manning the center position today. So if it's not totally out of control, I expect a good helping of minutes from Eubanks like we saw 2 games ago where he played like 33. And to get over 6.5 looks real good there. Other books have this at 7.5, which is worth pointing out. BetMGM still at -130. All right, last one. We're taking a strict market-based approach here. I'm going to explain to you guys why this is so important. Before we do, though, one more reminder, as I do on every show, Bet365. I don't know how long it's going to be around for because they just opened up in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, and Virginia. So they said, hey, we got to do things right. One of their top guys actually said this. He's like, if we're entering the U.S., we have to do this right. He's like, other smaller countries, you mess it up. It kind of is what it is. In the U.S., we got to do it right. Well, they are doing it right. Because if you click the link in the description or in the comments, right, pin comment, you can't miss it. You sign up, it takes a minute. Deposit $10, but you only need to bet one of those. 10% of that one, the 10% of the $10, $1. You're getting $365 in bonus bets. You don't have to win the bet, nothing. Any bet you want, close your eyes and pick. Doesn't matter. I would go with a massive long shot. Whatever long shot you're feeling that day, go with a massive long shot, because if you win, beautiful win even on $1, and you're getting $365 regardless. Dude, it's insane. It's the best promo I've ever seen. I don't know how long they can sustain something like this. I can't wait till it comes to PA, coming to Iowa too. So get stoked if you're not in those 4 states. $1, $365, win or lose, okay? It's that simple. If you lost every bet of this $365 that you get in bonus bets, you're down $1 at the end of the day. It takes a minute to sign up. So ultimately, you're making $365 in 1 minute by taking 1 minute and signing up. It's also an awesome site. Like, this site's been around forever. This is one of the most trailblazing, pioneering books out there. And now they're giving $365 to everybody in Colorado, Virginia, New Jersey, or Ohio just for signing up, depositing 10, and putting $1 down on any game, win or lose. So check it out. Link in the description and in the comments. And of course, must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Ooh, lost my breath. Last one. Mikal Bridges, under 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I know it seems scary, but -113 on FanDuel right now is just too good of a number to pass up. It's strictly a numbers play here, using the market to beat the market. That's what we do at OddsShopper. That's what OddsShopper.com literally is for. On Pinnacle, the sharpest book out there, anyone who knows anything about betting would agree. And on DraftKings and other books, Bridges' PRA is at 32.5, with almost identical juice on the under as it is on FanDuel, where they have it at 34.5. And in late season basketball, like we said, where a lot of stuff just simply doesn't make sense, it's a great idea to take advantage of these market discrepancies. Like we're getting here with Bridges is a significant one. It may not seem like a lot, but 34.5 at 32.5, where the 34 is at like -150 and the 32 is +120. It's -113. DraftKings still has it at -107 on under 32.5. It's pretty wild. So I think we see FanDuel come back down here, more in line with the market, which again, no better reason to jump in the chalkboard. We're throwing these in the chat immediately as they pop up on OddsShopper, okay? Because they disappear super quick. People that know betting hammer them and then they're gone. So we're going to get him before they do. But Bridges is coming off a monster game against the Magic, 44 points, but he's a virtual zero when it comes to like the peripherals, right? Rebounds, assists. You're not really worried about that. It's about him going off and lighting up an opposing team. So if he isn't blowing the scoreboard up tonight against Houston, admittedly a good matchup against the Rockets, we'll be happy to have under 34.5 where every other book's offering 32.5 tonight. So appreciate you guys hanging out. Hit that thumbs up before you go. Remember, Chalkboard, it's entirely free. BetMGM in the description. You want a free week of Bet Pro. We got you covered on all fronts, everything down there, and I'll catch you back here tomorrow. Peace.